Cet épisode de la chaise bleue vous est fièrement présenté par GLM Conseil. Acolyte de la transformation dans votre entreprise à l'ère du numérique.
Today I have a great invitation. We have great people on the stage. We have, sorry for the, Megan Zimmerman from Calgary Economic Development. Nice to meet you on the stage at La Chaise Bleue. Sorry?
Oh, I got to do it.
Yeah, I solved the problem. Quick.
Good morning. Hi from Calgary.
Yeah, we have Jordan Smith. Nice to meet you, Jordan.
Pleasure to be here.
And we have Neil Ethier. Nice to meet you, Neil.
Pleasure to meet you as well.
Yeah. I would like to know, what are you doing in Hanover Mess this year, and what is your objective? Why? What is your goal? Why? I would like to ask you before.
So I'm Megan. I work with Calgary Economic Development. We're the economic development agency in the city of Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Woo! For those of you that know Calgary. Calgary is actually voted the most livable city in North America, if you didn't know. So if you haven't been, great place to visit. We are here supporting all of the awesome Calgary companies and Alberta companies that you'll meet in a minute, with Jordan and Neil as two great examples. So we're here promoting the companies from Calgary who are looking to diversify their markets and bring their technology to Europe. And we're also here just to talk to companies about investing in Calgary and bringing their business to our wonderful city.
For your information, I crossed the Bow Rivers with a trip in water maybe 5 times. I know your city. I know the Calgary Flames. I did a lot. The Western Festival. What is the
Calgary Stampede, greatest outdoor
Calgary
show on
Stampede?
earth.
I know that your city is a great city.
It is a great city. If you haven't been in a while,
See the
come back.
mountain.
Yeah, very close to the Rocky Mountains. That definitely contributes to the high livability we get to enjoy in Calgary.
And why you stay here today for this week? Why you cross with a plane to come here? What is your goal?
Yeah, so we're developing quantum technologies that promise to have an enormous impact on the whole world globally. So we, obviously started as a spin-out from the University of Calgary. So we're a Calgary-based company, but we really see the impact that our technology can have for additional markets globally. So that's why we're here. Is to really start to work with partners here in Europe and to expand our market.
And my new friend, you? Why are you here?
So I represent Eavor Technologies. So we are a deep geothermal energy company. And so what we're offering is energy security and energy autonomy for everywhere. Everywhere below you on the planet has heat. And it's always been a question of how do we get that to come to the surface and how can we utilize it? And so there's a huge demand in Europe for heating networks. So most cities have large, massive district heating networks that are principally run by fossil fuels, coal, natural gas. And so the security is not there. So when we saw Russia invade the Ukraine, it caused a huge interest for us to come here and supply energy security, energy autonomy. So we're actually currently producing or building our first commercial project just south of the city of Munich, where we'll be building an Everloop, is what we call it. It's a big underground heat exchanger that brings up energy from the subsurface, and it'll be used to both power the German grid, so electricity to the German grid, as well as providing heat to neighboring villages. So we're a Canadian company. We started in Canada. We had a full-scale pilot there for 5 years, and now we're building our first commercial project in Germany. We see a huge opportunity for decarbonization and energy security in the German market, other European markets, and really globally. So really excited to be here. In fact, probably our second project in Germany will be here in Hanover. So there are seismic vessels, Vibroseis, on the streets of Hanover today, shooting a seismic survey to understand what is below us so that we can come in and drill an Everloop and provide energy security and long-term stability for the residents of Hanover so they will have heat and energy into their homes and businesses for decades to come.
And what is the prospect or the client you would like to find here? Who is the client?
So for myself, we're developing more specifically quantum networking technologies. So quantum in general promises to have a huge impact in various ways. Quantum computing will be able to solve complex problems that would take even a state-of-the-art supercomputer millions or even billions of years to solve. So there's some important problems that we can solve with these technologies. But one of the important things maybe that's quantum computing can do all these wonderful things, but it can also do something that represents a threat to our way of life, which is it'll now have the power to decrypt the data that we send ubiquitously across the internet, which is now encrypted securely, but a quantum computer will break that. So one of the things we do with our quantum networking technologies is to provide data security and encryption in a way that is robust against quantum computers. And, obviously that applies to critical infrastructure, manufacturing, to a lot of the stakeholders that are here at this show. So, we've been in discussions and have already met new customers that have committed to pilot our technology in critical infrastructure and energy projects, similar to what we just heard about. So, that's really the applicability that we're seeing here.
We have a question in this podcast is, do you know the valorization data center from Quebec, or it's a booth here? We ask a question, where's the match you have to find here? Do you know a business or a sector activity or a country, a city all around the world, or only in Canada if you want, you would like to match here?
Really, it's anyone. It's anyone who has an energy demand, who wants to have energy security. So we had a meeting this morning with a country in Eastern Europe that wants 10 gigawatts of power by 2040. Those are pretty ambitious goals. And they ask, how do we do this? We can't do it with solar, we can't do it with wind, can't do it with batteries, we're reliant on coal. How do we solve this problem? With nuclear that's 10 years out, we want to be able to solve this problem. And so we can come in, build a business plan, build a model, have an understanding of how we can start with a heating project, move that into large-scale electricity generation, and really have energy security for a country. And with that, now they can incentivize investment. I have a stable cost structure that I can now bring people in an affordable zero-carbon electricity. I can now build my business around that. So those are the ones we're targeting. In the halls just over, we have AWS and Google and Microsoft. These guys have massive demands for data centers. They're the ones who Microsoft invested in us in our last round. Those are the ones who are looking to scale to hundreds of megawatts per data center, and they need gigawatts. They're stuck behind transmission queues, and they have zero carbon goals that they need to hit. Those are our customers. So really, anyone who needs energy on the planet, which is everyone, are our customers, and so they're everywhere, and we're meeting them all and having a wonderful fair.
And you can be proud about these guys, huh? I never know that we have brain guys like you in Canada, because I'm very happy that. But why you chose these two guys to come with you on the scene today?
I think Neil did a good job of explaining. Your value proposition is pretty clear. Everybody needs energy. Canada is really good at producing energy. We are known for oil and gas, but I think we're very good at producing a lot of energy and technologies in other types of energy, as we've talked about with geothermal. So I think it's just great to bring the message to Europe and help people see how the world needs more Canada, and it's nice to be able to be here and share our know-how with the world, and certainly look for partners in Europe. Obviously, quantum, most people can say quantum technologies, and that's about as far as they know. It is certainly very, very technical. We're very fortunate in Calgary. Jordan mentioned that they're a spin out of the University of Calgary. We actually have a quantum center of excellence at the University of Calgary in our city, which is producing amazing technologies like yours. So we're really proud of that. That's one of the reasons we're happy to have them here with us in Hanover. I was also going to answer your question, Ben, just around who's a good match for Calgary, because those are the conversations I've been having this week with people is, what is Calgary? Where is Calgary? Why would I come to your city? So a couple of interesting facts about our city. We are the fourth largest city in Canada. We're on the west coast, about 10-hour drive from Vancouver. We are certainly known for oil and gas, but we're a hub for a lot of types of technologies, as you've heard. We're also very well known for, of course, the agriculture industry and aerospace and life sciences. So we have a lot to offer the business community. We have the highest number of head offices per capita in Canada. So for a lot of companies that we're talking to, they're like, wow, my customers are in your city. That's a big draw. That's certainly a reason to come to Calgary. We also have very high quality talent. So people are certainly drawn to the city to access the workforce that we have. I mentioned the quality of life as well, but I think what's also very attractive is the competitive taxes in Alberta. So we have the lowest corporate income tax in Canada, the only province with no provincial sales tax, and then very affordable real estate. So companies love that they can come in, they can get awesome office space in downtown Calgary, they can attract and retain talent because the cost of living is very affordable. You can buy a single family home for about 600,000 Canadian or just under 400,000 US dollars. It's hard to find that in a city like Calgary anywhere else in the country. So I think that's a big part of us being here, is just helping people get to know our city and realize that there's more than Toronto when they think about Canada. So we wanted to be here to share the story.
You know Bridget from InGen, yeah?
Of course I know Bridget from Canada. Yes, I do.
Yeah, because you and Bridget together, it's a big drive. It's
Good match. The French and the English version, right?
good match. Yeah.
Okay, good.
If I'd be back for my second question, you never answered my question. Did you find a match, or did you think that you will find match here, or what is the match you would like to find here?
Yeah, absolutely. So, what we're finding is that people are ready to not only learn about quantum technologies, but to actually leverage them to boost their businesses. The first morning of the first day, we met a new customer, got a pilot commitment in a critical infrastructure play, right? Already. So we found a match. We found multiples, actually. We're talking with investors, with customers, with, suppliers for us, partners. So it's really been a productive show for us. I find that in quantum, especially many conferences, we get together to talk. But here, people get together to do business. And that's what we found so far.
Did you find?
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
And with your drive, if I transfer to you the MC for this podcast, what is the best question I have to ask for these two guys?
Okay, well, if you're giving me the mic, I got lots of questions, Ben. Of course, I like to always ask companies, what has been the strategic advantage of building these businesses in Calgary? You could do it anywhere. There's a lot of awesome cities in the world, a lot of awesome cities in Canada. Why Calgary?
And maybe I'll start with that. It's really the talent. I mean, the idea for Eavor was born in Calgary. It was started in Calgary, and it was really an easy infrastructure to be able to pull in the talent needed to be able to accelerate and advance and deploy this technology. Because we are drilling into the earth, we need to have geoscientists. I'm a geophysicist. I spent 20 years in oil and gas, and now I have been at Eavor for 5 years. We have geologists who have spent time in oil and gas. They understand the subsurface. We have drilling engineers. We have research and development people. So all of this talent pool that is sitting there in Calgary really propelled us to the company we are today. We have an equally as exciting group in Germany as well. We have, because of our first commercial project in Munich, we have about 50 employees in Germany, and we're actively developing that and other projects in Germany and Europe. So from a personal standpoint, I would say that I wouldn't be working at Eavor if it wasn't in Calgary, and I think a lot of the other people who are working at Eavor have spent time in oil and gas, and so that talent pool is very deep. And it's really an easy place to be able to get that to accelerate and get us to the point we are today. And it's a great city too.
Yeah, so I would agree with that. For us, obviously, in a field like quantum science, talent and HQP is a really critical resource for us. So the University of Calgary has long been a global leader in quantum science, and specifically quantum communications and networking. So we have a really great relationship as we spun out from the University of Calgary, and we continue to benefit from the intellectual property that we jointly developed there, as well as from the talent that comes out of some of the labs as students graduate. Graduate students come out, and there's a natural fit for them with us in the technology that they've been trained on. So certainly the talent pool is a big reason for us to be in Calgary, but there are other reasons as well. As you mentioned, Calgary's also positioned itself as a quantum city, as it's diversified its capabilities and its focuses. So we've, in the last few years, we've established Quantum City, as you alluded to there, with a big push on really spinning out research that's being done at the university and to attract quantum startups to provide collision spaces for them, to explore synergies, to provide clean room resources so they can develop their tech. So there are just many support resources and programs, and it's a great ecosystem for a quantum startup to be.
Lots of transferable talent, as you can hear, and transferable skills. Being the head of oil and gas for Canada and being the energy center, there's a lot of very specialized talent, a lot of engineering, obviously a lot of universities and colleges that are continuing to spin up very high quality STEM talent. So that's an advantage for both of your businesses, but really any business. That's and we're very lucky to have that quality of people.
It's also a challenge. I mean, when you look at our ambitions are to scale and change the world. And so we need a broad swath of these talented people to come into the industry. And a lot of those industry professionals are coming from oil and gas, and that enrollment has dropped off a cliff. And so it's going into universities, it's talking to them, it's getting them excited about these new opportunities to look for heat below us and to be able to utilize that and build programs around geothermal. That is something that we need to really focus on in order for us to be successful in the future, is we're going to need this talent pool, and it's frankly shrinking, and there's not a lot of employment now into the petroleum engineering and geosciences because they don't want to go into fossil fuels. And so for them to come into this industry utilizing the same skills, it's really exciting for them. And so it's something I spend a lot of time doing. We're doing a feasibility study right now with the University of Colorado in Boulder. And those are some of the things we talk about, is how do we build this ecosystem so that we can have the talent pool so that we can reach those goals and be massively scalable globally.
I know that you never listen to the podcast La Chaise Bleue, so we have a special question for you. It's called the police inspector. Are you ready for this kind of question? Sure? Because do you have a question I never asked to you before today? What is the question, what I have to know about your business that the people have to know?
Yeah, so I can start with that. What we're building, so if you think about the evolution of the personal computer over the last several decades, in the 40s and 50s, the personal computer was a standalone device that could perform some interesting calculations. But then came along networks and the internet, and that's really, what changed the way we live, And so what we're building is the quantum version of that. So we see quantum computers now in their infancy. And they'll be able to do some also amazing calculations and have, incredible capabilities. But the full potential will only be unlocked when we connect them across networks and eventually build a quantum internet. And so that's exactly what we're doing. We've had some scientific breakthroughs and are innovating to create the first commercially viable quantum repeater. So really what that is the device necessary to unlock the backbone of a quantum internet infrastructure. So that'll enable this quantum internet to really unlock the ability to do like distributed quantum computing and sensing and global scale secure communications for today's networks, and just really have a huge impact in every vertical that exists.
I have 3 young Canadian kids too. And what this quantum technology will change for education for my kids on the next 10 or 20 years? What do you think? Do you have a vision about what it changes?
Absolutely. I think we're on the opposite end of the spectrum there, where quantum is a very new thing. There's a lot of excitement. Previously, quantum physics wasn't exciting. 5-10 years ago, only people that were really, really dedicated to physics would go into it. But now it's become an exciting field. So I'm starting to get more and more people reaching out to me looking for ways that they can contribute to help get this technology to market. So it's not just quantum physicists that we need, although we do need to train more of them. But, we see people with software engineering backgrounds coming in, with embedded systems, electrical engineers, all sorts of different fields. It's a really multidisciplinary approach. I think the future is very bright for our children, their generation, in being able to participate in commercializing these technologies. And hopefully by the time they're grown, these technologies are more mainstream, sort of like the internet today.
And before I ask the same question of your friends, do you think that the Canada is ready? Is it before the other country? We are in advance, or where we are on this quantum technology research or application, where we are.
Yeah, Canada positioned itself as a global leader in quantum science early on. So in the research side of things, one of the real leaders. Some of the important groundbreaking quantum protocols were developed in Canada. The first quantum computer from D-Wave, in Canada. So on the research and commercialization side, it's been a leader. And Canada has a very strong quantum, a national quantum strategy. So strong support for academia as well as for industry to be able to commercialize these things. So Canada's really trying to position itself as a leader globally in quantum technologies, and it's doing a good job.
Thank you, Jordan. Really interesting. We have to make another podcast with your subject because we don't touch the quantum. I don't know what I can do with the quantum, so it's interesting. And my friend, if I'm a police, what I have to know about your business that I never ask question for you? What I have to know?
So when you think about geothermal, it's been around a long time. People have used it for centuries for heating, for bathing, for medicinal purposes. It's been used for electricity in Italy for over 100 years, but it's still a very niche application. And yet it's everywhere. There's heat everywhere below us. And so what I'm offering is, what Eavor is offering is not geothermal. We're offering the ability to have energy independence. So when you look across the planet, the countries that have wielded the biggest stick over the last number of decades are the petrostates, the ones who are blessed with fossil fuels. They're the ones who controlled most of the geopolitical narrative around the planet. Now we have electrostates who are pushing that from an intermittent side of things, wind and solar, very much dominated by very few countries. And yet there is this energy that's below us everywhere. So if you can allow every country to have energy independence and energy autonomy, that helps create enormous potential for geopolitical stability, for the ability for everyone to be successful. If you're always reliant on someone else, you'll never have the ability to be truly autonomous. And so that is what we're offering. So every country, no matter what size it is, there's energy below you. If you can bring that up to the surface and utilize that for heating, cooling, electricity generation, now you're no longer reliant on others. So now it becomes much more stable geopolitically, and you have the ability to write your own course. You can write your own future as a country. And so we're seeing that. We're having different countries who are coming. I want to be first. I want to be first in line there. I want to have this, and I want to be the leader in this space. And there are countries who are doing that. And there's a whole bunch that are sitting behind there as close followers. So that's what I'd like you to know about this, is that it's everywhere, and this is a really powerful thing. So
I will use this platform podcast to know, can you help Hydro-Québec maybe to be better on the future?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hydro is amazing. I mean, Canada's has a really clean grid with nuclear in Ontario, with hydro in Quebec, but it's limited. We're talking with people in Colombia. They have a lot of hydro as well, 50 to 60%. But in drought years, that goes way down. Their electricity prices go way up. They have to import different pieces. So the reliability of those things, same in New Zealand, every 6 or 7 years, they have this mega drought and they're no longer able to rely on their hydro. So how do you get over that? And so the ability to have that resiliency sitting behind there, because the heat is not going away below you. Precipitation comes and goes, and so you have variability in your hydro. Lake Mead in the U.S. is at some of its lowest levels. They're having discussions whether we give water to people downstream for agriculture or whether they produce electricity. These are some of the discussions that are happening when you have big mega droughts, and yet it's all below you with the energy below you. So yes, I think Hydro-Québec is fantastic, but yes, we'd like to have a bunch of geothermal sitting right alongside that to allow you to have that security and stability year over year.
I'm sure that Hydro-Québec can be better. I'm sure. It's okay if I ask if you have some question in the room. Do you have some question about these two guys or this charmante demoiselle? How to say that in English, charmante demoiselle? Charming, hey. Hey, do you have some question? No question? No. Hey, it's a pleasure to receive you today on the podcast La Chaise Bleue. Maybe you will match with a big business this week. And if we can match with you on the business in Quebec or anything else, I will help you with pleasure. Nice to meet you.
Thank you, Ben.
Cet épisode de la chaise bleue vous a été présenté par GLM Conseil. Acolyte de la transformation dans votre entreprise à l'ère du numérique.